What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Ho to Husband Podcast. I'm your host, Terry Duran. I got both of my co-hosts on the line with me. I got my man, Jay Babo. What's good, man?
Not much. Ready to kick some good games, fellas, tonight. But want to remind you, make sure you're following us on TikTok as well. Subscribe to us on YouTube at Ho to Husband Podcast. And for anybody that's interested in a promotion or advertising with the podcast, you can shoot us a DM on Instagram at Ho to Husband Podcast, as well as email us at hotohusbandpodcast@gmail.com. All right, T.
I also got my man, SD. What's good?
Man, just trying to make it through the day, man. That's it. But I want to give a shout out to Brother Soul Productions for always keeping the background audio fresh. And I want to remind you all to donate to the Ho to Husband Podcast on Cash App and PayPal.
I want to remind everybody, y'all can catch the audio playback of the podcast every Monday afternoon at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time on thecore94.com. Tonight's episode is titled Moving the Goalpost. And we just wanted to talk about how a lot of the expectations of men in regards to dating and relationships are always constantly being increased or changing. But before we get into that discussion, y'all know how we do around here. We like to discuss stuff that we seen trending on our timelines. So this first video is a post from another podcast where a man is basically talking about the expectations women have of dating. Let's take a listen.
I don't think modern women today want Prince Charming.
Who do they want?
They want Superman. They want to take Superman and make him Clark Kent, but they just don't want Clark Kent. They want to tame Superman. They want to tame the alpha. They want the alpha to want them and only them in a monogamous relationship. They don't want Prince Charming off of that. I go over on my channel, good guys, nice guys, being simps, even in the world, and then they get upon. They don't want Prince Charming. They want Superman to convert him into Clark Kent.
And then how often does that happen?
Russell Wilson.
There you go.
Sierra's prayer. Meanwhile, she's still up in the Oscars half-ass naked. We give way too much credence and relevance to the ones that don't cook, they don't clean, or the ones that promote this independent lifestyle. These famous women don't care about y'all. They appropriated being strong and independent for the dollar. And y'all don't hold them accountable, but y'all hold us accountable.
Actually,
y'all hold Kevin accountable.
They did with
y'all
Sierra.
hold Pearl accountable. That's who y'all hold accountable, but not the ones that lied to y'all. It makes no sense to me. Modern women don't hold modern women accountable.
He was coming for the head, man. But what he's saying is true, man. We see it all the time. Just looking at the video, the way her facial expression changed when he mentioned Russell Wilson. Women don't really want guys that just kiss their ass and give them everything they want. Even though on social media and online, they'll talk like that's the reason relationships are failing, because every man is not doing just spoiling women and sharing them with gifts, etc. But that's nonsense.
Yeah, man. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Women love hoes. They love men that can be hoes or are current hoes. That's what women love. And if that wasn't true, the friend zone wouldn't exist. Because all these women pretty much got a man in their friend zone that they know would treat them right. But it's something about him. He's lame. His personality ain't there. He don't dress quite right. And they not attracted to him like that. Just like Russell Wilson, how they always praise Russell Wilson. And I have said this before. The vast majority of women do not want a man like Russell Wilson. That's why whenever these here posts come out where they pick a celebrity to sleep with or name a celebrity that they wish they could be with, whatever the case, not one of them named Russell
Never.
Wilson. Because they don't want to. They don't name Russell Wilson. They don't name Carlton from Fresh Prince. They don't name Nick Cannon. They don't name Tiger Woods, because they put all of them into the same kind of box in the same kind of category. Can those guys get women? Absolutely. But in our community, our women do not go out and pick those types of men to be with long term, because they don't sexually turn them on. A lot of them will do it as a last resort, or when all else fails, now they need a cleanup man. That's what they use them dudes for, like Sierra did.
Right.
Yep. Shout out to Mediocre Tutorials and Reviews for that video. But it's when you speak about the amount of women, it's these women that, you know, they want it all. Guy who makes 6 figures, you know, he's a bad boy, thug in the streets, but a good guy at the same time. You know, they want it all. But a lot of them don't talk about what they have to offer. And a lot of them, they ain't offer nothing but looks and their body, basically.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the women usually just want guys that are living a lifestyle that makes them fast money or a very large amount of money. They want to do this in the trap. They want to do this that's rapping or playing ball or has the potential to make that type of income. So they're not really interested in that particular guy. They're looking at the resources and the lifestyle that could come with dating that particular guy. And Russell Wilson, I mean, he's a good dude. He got a good heart or whatever. But the things that he's done, like buying Sierra her masters, getting her dream home, giving her, like, he's coming with the Prince Charming vibe to make up for what he lacks before he was rich and famous. But as you said, with women, on one hand, they'll talk about how much they want that type of guy. But when it comes to who get their panties wet or who they actually want to sleep with, the thought never comes up to make it Russell Wilson.
I mean, SD, you've done that poll several times where you said, who would you rather want, Russell Wilson or Future? And like about 80-something%, the overwhelming majority picked Future over Russell Wilson. So they don't really want him.
Hey man, I've done the survey, not the poll. Hey, man. But no, man, you absolutely right. Like it's what it is. Women are attracted to men that can be hoes, man, or that are hoes, because men that are hoes or can be hoes have the characteristics that women love. Be it
skill set,
they swag, their personality, the way they talk, their humor, the finances, whatever the case, they have the thing, or else a man couldn't be a hoe. He couldn't.
You gotta, because he has. That's part of the. As a man, you have to figure out how to use your resources, your looks, your shortcomings, and put it in a package that women will accept. And I've seen dudes of all statures do it. Fat dude. I've seen fat dudes that's well groomed, that smell like expensive cologne every time you see him. He's making up for the fact he fat, but it worked. You know what I'm saying? Like you can. Anybody can increase their desirability on the dating market, but those type of dudes that are only successful with women because of their fame or money, they not really happy either. You know, they get taken advantage of an awful lot, or finesse. I think that's the term that we use these days.
Yeah, they get finessed, and they should. You out here, that's what you leading with. Hey man, you gotta take what come with it. But listen to this stat, man. I read this here the other day, right? In our community, there are 2 times as many black women with kids as there are men with kids. What does that tell you? 2 times as many.
Overlap.
Like what? What you mean?
A lot of men, a lot of them having same kids by the same guys.
Kids by the same guy because they like hoes. It is what it is, and it ain't just our women. All women like that. Like they're attracted to the men that can.
Well, see, but that's not necessarily a problem within itself, right? Because you're attracted to what you're attracted to. Like the desirability for a woman to want to be with a guy that's handsome with swag and all that. That's natural. Like you can't necessarily fault them for that. And in a lot of ways, I think that skill set that makes a man successful or able to be a hoe, those are the same skills it takes for a man to have a career or a business. You know what I mean? Because he's marketing himself. He's having to constantly self-assess himself. He's constantly having to interact and problem solve with women. You know, like, so the skill set that it takes for a guy to have success, that mirrored with his income going up, that's how most guys that are successful with women do it. Like, we ain't out here selling bricks and living this super risky lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got careers. We wanted to move away from where we grew up, and we wanted to provide a lifestyle that would make us desirable to women. And it's easy to do.
Yeah, but you know what? I do find fault in them for it when they 30, 35 years old. You've been dating since you've been 18 years old, 12 years from 18 to 30, and you mean to tell me that when these here guys that are hoes come up to you or give off these here particular signs that you don't know to leave them alone and walk away. If your way ain't worked in 12 years, 14, 15, 20 years, and
Well,
you want to get married,
see,
keep going back to the same thing.
well, I think that's more a result of women not really knowing what to look for in guys. Like women
Get it.
evaluate men, they make their dating decisions based off of faulty information, in my opinion. And I think that's why we see that.
Whose fault is that?
But I think another thing too is not just faulty information and based on their emotions, based on the stuff that, we've been talking about they're attracted to. So even though it's not working, they still think somehow it's going to work. They're just hoping for the best when they do these things.
They can change them. But whose fault is that? You 35 years old and you still don't know how to walk away from a dude that tell you he don't want to get married, he don't want no relationship, he just chilling doing his thing, and you want to get married? You mean to tell me Sierra couldn't walk away from being baby mama number 6? I fought them for this type of thing. Like that, the man is a lot of times these here types of men are who they are when these women get there. These women know exactly who they dealing with. They know he a hoe. They know he in the streets. They know he got all these here women, whatever the case, and they think they can change him and tame this beast. Like he said, tame the alpha male in the video, right? That's what they think that they can do to this particular type of man because she's so different.
So do you think that's an ego problem for them?
All of it's a problem for them. Whatever they doing it for, ego, whatever. Because at the end of the day, it was just a study done by Morgan Stanley, I think the financial institution, where they said by the year 2030, that over half of women will never get married. Right now, it's at like 42%, right? That's even higher in our community. So yes, true. I hold it's going to affect them more than the men because it's just not enough of those men that they actually are attracted to, that actually have all the things that they are looking for, that want to get married, for one, and enough in sheer numbers for all of these women because all of them want the same type of man. That's an issue for them.
All right, let's keep the ball rolling. Now, this next video that we're going to look at, it's a woman explaining that men don't usually connect sex with love, something that you would think is common sense. Let's take a listen.
Men don't love with they want to put inside of another woman, and it doesn't mean to them. It doesn't mean that you're less of a woman, that you're not the whatever, A guy can have sex with somebody that doesn't even look like you or is remotely the same as you are. It's just because he wanted to. It literally is because he wanted to have sex. It has nothing to do, I love her, I want to be with her, she's now we're going to have my babies. No. I want to put it in that woman. When you understand that, your life will be way easier because the jealousy won't be there. You won't be like, oh, is she better looking? It has nothing to do with that. It has nothing to do with you looking like that or looking whatever. It has nothing to do with it. He just wanted it.
Yeah.
That sometimes you just want a hamburger.
Yeah.
Because you want it.
It's hard to explain sexual desire because it's one of those things that doesn't necessarily have to make sense. What can attract a man to a certain woman or a certain thing does not have to make sense to people that are not into that particular thing. And so when men are, especially, this conversation usually comes up when a man is caught cheating, when he's trying to explain that it was just a sexual encounter that didn't really have any significance to him, to the woman that he really cares about, that is making it a big deal. Because I think what women do in that situation is they view it through their own perspective. They treat the man having sex like they feel about having sex instead of looking at how men have sex. Because we've seen throughout history that men don't place nearly the value on giving out dick that they do on women passing out pussy.
Not even close. But men, man, for us, for most men, especially when men are in their whole phase, which most of the women deal with those types of men anyway, those men, don't connect love with sex. Like, we don't even have to know a chick's name. We ain't got to know her birthday, her sign, or any of that other silly nonsense, right? All we know is she got big titties and she willing to give us a nut. That's all we really care about. Are you willing to give us a nut? And we don't even have to be attracted to the woman. We don't have to be attracted to her physically or mentally, when we young and just running the streets. Now it's a little different. You know what I'm saying? For me, and I think for most men, once they gain a little value, you know what I'm saying, in themselves and in their lives, they tend to move a little different. But for the majority of men out here, we not bonding with women like that unless we actually really like this woman or love this woman already. Then we bond with her. Whereas women go into that. I think most women already create some type of bond in their mind with the man that they want to lay with. So once he actually lays down with them, and especially if he blow her back out, she is going to be connected to a dude like that, emotionally connected to him. That's why you see a lot of women, man, they say fall in love through having sex. You know what I mean? You don't really hear that a lot of times from dudes, although some men do it. I'm not saying that. But for the majority of men out here that's being hoes, man, it's just a nut. And you got to understand that.
Exactly.
Jay, what you think?
I mean, obviously, men and women view sex differently. Like, for men can compartmentalize and use discernment when having sex. Like you said, guy ain't got to have feelings or emotional connection. He could just have sex with her. Don't even got to like you. For women, like you said, when most women have sex with a guy, there's some type of emotional attachment to him when she's having sex.
Or other motive. Like, that's the part. Like, there's usually, we know that women will sleep with a dude that they ain't really feeling if he got money. So there's always, men know a lot of women will either directly or indirectly trade sex for money. So a woman will have sex with a guy and she won't necessarily get emotion if it's a dude that she just is there because he's paying for her flights and her clothes and giving her money.
But women like that, what do you think about women like that can detach emotions away from sex? Terry, what do you personally think about that?
Those are usually not the type of women that men are going to want to try to build a long-term relationship with. They're fun to hang out with. They're fun to invite to the get-togethers, to the kickbacks. You can have a lot of big bros and guys that'll treat you with respect or whatever, but none of them will view you as somebody that they want to build their life with. And that's one of the things that come with promiscuous behavior, which we've discussed multiple times. Why the guy that's successful with women is always going to be able to attract women, because women don't have a problem with being with a guy that's a former hoe. It's actually, to me, that's a sign of a woman that made a smart dating decision. You know what I'm saying? You got you somebody that's actually valuable on the dating market.
Yeah. I'll take it. So just to answer Estee's question real quickly, I would say for a woman like that, that's like a woman that's not the most feminine woman. Like Terry said, all your points is right. She's a cool hang, but nothing else other than that. Cool hang and a nice smash in the bedroom.
Yeah. See, a woman like that can just have sex, no emotion. She behaves like a guy, right? That's how most men do it. Right? Now flip this. If a man he connected all this emotion just with a chick that he wanted to smash, right? And became overly emotional or whatever for this chick, women would find that irritating. Be like, they'd be like, man, dude, like, what's wrong with you? Like, you can't handle it? Like, what's going on? And so for men, a woman that can behave like that and remove a natural part of her, which is the bonding that she does through sex. If she can remove that natural part of her to just be sleeping with men with no emotions, how do we know that you can just turn this back on? This ain't no light switch thing where you can just turn off emotions and turn them on and off through, you know what I'm saying, through sex like that, because now you'll get married and now you'll be comparing your man to the other men that you had, not being able to bond with your man. This is scientifically proven that the women that have the more bodies they have, the less likely they are to be happy in a marriage. So this ain't just something that I'm saying. This is proven. So the women that can do that, men typically see those particular women as just fun chicks. Come on, we can have sex all
But
day.
see,
But I'm not
a
gonna
lot
put
of
no ring on
women,
that thing.
when you try to have these discussions with women or whatnot,
They
they
swear
make
up
it
and
seem
down they
like
can do it.
they love guys that are super selective with pussy and have only slept with a couple of women. But we know that that's not true. You know what I mean? Like they want a Morris Chestnut that's been married with one woman for almost 30 years and all that. That's what they say, but that's not what we see in actuality. Because most guys that have only been with a couple of women, it's not by choice. It's usually a situation where they're forced into, that they have very limited options. They have very few women that they can choose from. And so you have kind of two sides of the fence, where you got a one group of guys that is very difficult for them to select the women because they have so many women to choose from. And then you have the guys that are struggling with women and resorting to all these lame tactics that we talk about all the time.
Yeah, or the women will swear up and down that women can do it too. Oh, we just like to have sex and send them home too. And then when you ask them, is that what you do? Well, no, not me. I know a girl that do it though. Like the majority out there, and I do the surveys, and 90, 95, 96% of women say, nah, we just want one guy that we sleep with. Like majority of women just really want to have one guy that they sleep with, do their thing with, whatever the case. But it's so hard
That
to find
pay. They want a guy that also can
Yeah.
pay and spend money and do the
Yeah.
providing, even
saying.
if all they provide is the sex, and that's part of the part of the problem these days.
Yeah, it's a big problem for them because they not getting what they want, but they racking up bodies in the process. They racking up bodies and they racking up more trauma, relationship trauma. They becoming more harder out here when it comes to relationships. So by the time they do meet a quality man, she is so damaged that he don't really want to be
Jaded.
bothered with her like that. Yeah, because now she playing so many games. She like, you know what? I'm not cooking for a man no more. I'm not being submissive to a man no more, because the last 6 times that I did it, he took it for granted. He didn't want me to be his woman. He wanted me to do wifey things and didn't want to commit. And now this quality dude wants those wifely things from her. But she's so jaded that she don't want to do them, and he leaves her alone. That's typically how it goes. So the women don't know that they do themselves a disservice a lot of times by sleeping with men, or being bothered with men that don't take them serious, and who sometimes they don't even want to be with. They doing themselves a
Sure.
disservice out here because it affects them long term out here in the dating market.
All right, man. Let's keep the ball rolling, man. We got some time today. I wanted to get to some of the questions that we got in our inbox. If y'all are interested in having your questions answered on the podcast, y'all can shoot us a DM and we'll try to get them plugged in the show. What we got in the inbox, SD?
We got this one from August. She says she needs some advice. She's a divorced woman that's re-entering the dating world. In her mid-30s, she was married for 10 years, and she don't know how to navigate out here. What advice would you have for her re-entering the dating world and how to navigate the dating scene right now?
It is going to be a brutal reality. Things are going to be drastically different than what she's used to. I've been one of the guys campaigning to try to help women with things like this. So the first thing I would recommend is download my dating and compatibility guide, so that you know what dating actually is from a male perspective and what to expect. It'll also give you some cues on what kind of conversations you need to have to figure out what a guy's actually about. So I would say listening to some podcasts, getting a scoop on how men see things in 2023. Because if you've been off the market for a long time, it's going to be drastically different.
Yeah, man, I would say be patient, because it's a cold world out here when you get out here, man. You know what I mean? Be patient and really vet the men that you want to talk to, depending on what you want. If you just want fun, have fun. If you want something a little more serious, you're really gonna have to talk to these men and get to know the men before you actually get your feelings involved, because there's a lot of nonsense out here, and a lot of men will tell you exactly what you need to hear or want to hear in order to sleep with you and send you on your way. So understand the dating game. Like Terry said, man, you got to get some understanding of it, because it's different from 2013. Because 2013, Instagram and social media and all
Cash
that
App wasn't, but Cash App didn't exist. The location wasn't as big of a thing. Lyft and Uber wasn't popping like that. Yeah, the whole world's different.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So I would recommend a couple of things. Number one, listen to podcasts like Terry said. Also, maybe even look for, say a dating coach, somebody that can help you navigate through the dating scene now. Obviously, like we said, it's much different now in 2023 than 2013. Also, other ways to put yourself out there, maybe look for local mixer events in your area, speed dating events. That's also another way of meeting men. Some might not like online dating. I know that's the way it is today, but in case you don't like that, that's another alternative there.
Yeah, and one more thing, like you have to be realistic when you get out here on the dating scene to who you are and what you have to offer. I don't know if you got kids. I don't know what you look like. I don't know, you know what I'm saying, the things that you do as a wife, but you have to be realistic when you get out here and start dating. Every man ain't gonna be 100,000, 200,000, whatever the case. You need to, come out here with a realistic standards and requirements for a man. That'll help you more than anything nowadays.
Facts. That was a good one. We got any other questions in the inbox?
We got one more. This one here is from Shantae. She say, my man frequently puts his phone face down when we're in the house. It's the only reason a man puts his phone face down is so I won't see who's calling.
No, that's not the only reason. It's one of the most likely reasons. I mean, it's unusual for a person to put their phone face down every single time they put the phone down. You know what I'm saying? So somebody doing something where they're adamant about it, to me, that would be a red flag. I don't know. Even if you ask him about it, all he's going to do is defend it, you know what I'm saying, and make it come off as if you're just being insecure. But I can't think of a reason. Most times, if you're not doing dirt, I've been in a non-cheating phase for a real long time, so I don't even think about which way I'm putting my phone down. You know what I'm saying? Like, so for a man to do face down every time, that's a red flag to me. What y'all think?
I don't know, man. You know what? Because I'm single, man, and I live alone, and I put my phone face down sometimes because of the way the
every time.
Not every time, but because of the way
that's
the
what I'm
camera sit, and the cover that I have over the phone, it makes it lopsided. So I'll flip it over and sit it down on the face, man, just out of habit. I don't.
But see, I think, but that would be an explanation that a guy could say, like, man, because of the camera, you know what I'm saying? Like, but like I said, then that would make sense. Yeah, that's a reason I hadn't thought about.
Yeah, but every single time, that's a little rough. That's a little rough, bro. You know what I mean? But, the only thing you can do is ask them. It's best to ask and communicate than to assume. If you assume, you'll just build it up, and then you'll explode on him, and it could be whatever. It could be something silly where he's like, hey, I don't care. You can have a cold. I don't care nothing about that. So, it's best that you just communicate with him and let him know that you observe this, and it kind of bothers you a little bit. You know what I mean? So he might have a good reason for it. He might not.
What about you, Jay?
I mean, it could be a red flag. Like, for example, if every time she walks in the room, he got his phone and he puts his face down, that could be a red flag. But like you said, it could be
he flips it real quick.
Go to the home screen.
Yeah.
Or as soon as she sit next to him, he just turn the phone, put it face down, sitting on the table, his lap or whatever. That would be a red flag. But does he have, like you said, does he have a good rational explanation? Who knows? I mean, maybe the light bothers him. We don't know.
Yeah. Well, see, a
I do
red
that
flag to me, a red flag is something that you observe that could potentially be a problem, and that means that you
Yeah.
need more information or you need a logical explanation before you decide what action you should take. So, having a discussion about it and being open to the possibilities is probably the best course of action. But I know I can just speak from experience, man. When you cheating or you texting or DMing somebody you ain't supposed to be texting,
Yeah.
and your
You feel
spouse sitting next to you on the couch, bro, man, your body temperature change. Like it's such an uneasy situation. You know what I'm saying? Like,
man, get that.
uh,
Too much happens, man. But you know what? You just mentioned something, Jay. The new iPhone, like at night, it always stays in a lit mode. Mine do. I ain't never tried to turn it off. Like I don't get to it. It always stays in a lit mode. So at night, I flip my phone face down at night because I don't like the light in the room. You know what I mean? So it's
I do the same thing with
yeah, like sometimes, and I don't know, if this is every single time, but sometimes it's just one of those things, man. But if you come in the room and he flipping his phone over, like, come on, man, like that's a little much. But now they got those privacy covers to where
Yeah.
you can't
Yeah.
see nothing anyway unless you got the phone. I don't have one, but I've seen people that do have them, and you can't see
Yeah.
nothing on the phone unless you right up on it. So
That's just
Right.
basically. Like even if you from an angle, you can't even see what the
yeah,
person
you
has on
can't
there.
see nothing, man. So some people have them. I don't. But it is what it is.
All right, man. Look like we up against the clock, y'all. We about to take a quick break. When we come back, we're gonna be getting into our topic of the night, moving the goalposts, where we're gonna be talking about the dating expectations that are placed on men and how they are constantly changing. Y'all are tuned into the Ho the Husband podcast, and we'll be back in a moment. Hi, I'm relationship coach and author Terry Duran, and I am pleased to announce that my book, It's Not That Complicated, is finally available as an audiobook. So if you don't like to read or you just don't have time to read a paperback book, this audiobook is perfect for you. You can listen to it while you're in your car, while you're at work, etc. In the book, I break down how husband material men think and operate in regards to sex, love, and relationships, and I provide real quality insight on how husband material men approach dating. The audiobook is available on audible.com and on iTunes. All you have to do is go to one of the websites and search for my name, Terry Duran. Go download your copy today. All right, everybody, welcome back to the Ho the Husband podcast. Tonight's episode is titled Moving the Goalpost. And we're going to be talking about the dating expectations that are placed on men and how they are constantly increasing or changing whenever we discuss dating. And just based off the conversations I see on social media and on the internet, I personally don't feel like a lot of women are approaching dating in good faith. It seems as if their whole angle on dating and their perspective on men is how they're trying to find a way to get the most out of the dating situation with giving the least. And I don't think that's ever going to be a way to approach having a healthy relationship that's built to last long term. What are your thoughts on that?
I agree because it's a saying that I hear a lot on social media, and that saying is don't do wife duties for a boyfriend, or don't play wife and for a guy that's not your husband or something like that. And a lot of women say that, but they are just fine with him playing husband. They are just fine with him giving husband benefits, which is the providing every time y'all go out and do certain things. He provides for you. Women expect that from the man. Along with the protection aspect in some way, shape, or form. The women expect the man to keep them safe, and they should. I'm not saying they shouldn't, but they expect those things. And if they had an issue, they expect that man that they are dating to come to their rescue, so to speak, to help them out with those issues. But on the same token, a lot of them say, I'm going to hold back on cooking. I'm not going to wash his dishes if I go over his house because that's a wife thing. I'll do it when we marry. And that's one of those things for me personally. I'm just not going for it because I do what I do because that's just how I am, and I want a woman that's the same way, that just does what she
Right.
does because that's how she is. And if the man, or in my case, the woman, don't appreciate how I am as a man, then she gotta go. And women should do the same thing with men, but they shouldn't change how they are as a person because the men might not appreciate it or whatever.
What about you, Jay?
I definitely agree. I think when a lot of them come into these dating situations, like there's a lot that's holding out for the highest bidder. Well, and they want something for nothing out of that deal. They want a man to do, like you said, husband stuff, right? When a woman says, "Oh, I don't do this stuff unless you're my boyfriend or my husband," that's a red flag to me. Because if she's not doing it when you're not married, I highly doubt she's going to get married and all of a sudden going to change and say, "Hey, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z now that they're married."
No,
I don't believe that.
Yeah, that's one of the oldest tricks in the book.
Good faith. Yeah, exactly.
I'll do this. Like, they sell this dream on everything is just the day you get married, everything's gonna change. And it's like, nah, fool. The same habits, the same lifestyle you lived before marriage. It's still gonna be the same, except they're gonna have more access to you, and it's hard. It's more punitive and difficult to break up. That's really the only difference. You know what I'm saying? If you've been living with a woman and y'all been paying bills or raising kids or whatever the case may be, being married is not going to be as drastically different as being single as people think it is.
No, man. As soon as a woman tell me she ain't doing something till she married, get out. Get out. Go. I don't want to hear it, man. I don't want to hear none of that. But the crazy part is, these women will balk at cooking him some food or cleaning up something around his house, but will swallow his kids 6 days a week and claim that they're not doing wifey things because they're not cooking him no meals, but will bust it open.
I hate that phrase. I hate the whole wife duties and husband duty because those don't really represent wifely and husband duties. Like, those are things that anybody that lives in a household can do. Doing laundry, eating, preparing food, paying bills, cleaning, you know what I'm saying? Cleaning up the house. Yeah. Those are things that any single person should be able to do. And so those should not be like this exclusive benefits package that you selling as the prize for getting with you long term. Because that's not going to impress anybody. But a lot of the times when I see these talking points on social media or these podcasts, the ones that go viral or get on Spiritual Word or Shade Room and all these posts are anything that puts a man at a disadvantage. So the man should pay 100% conversation. Somebody, a simp posts something about that, it goes viral. Women retweet it and repost it all over Gram. But it's only because it puts a man at a disadvantage. You would never see women telling their own sons to do those things, and that's one of the issues I have with that type of content.
Oh yeah, I remember when Ari Fletcher, I think her name is, bought Moneybagg Yo some land. These women was up in arms, man. They was like, "Oh,
for real?
Stupid." Yeah, they was pissed off. What, you buying them land for? He gonna bring another chick over to that land? But when he bought her a Bentley and a Lamborghini or something. Oh yes, this is what I'm talking about. He really loved her. Man, shut up, man. That's why I don't pay him no attention. I let them just talk and just watch the hypocrites say whatever they gonna say on social media, and I take notes. I take notes on single women that try to talk to me. That's hypocritical out here in the dating world.
You got to
I pay attention to that type of stuff, because if you hypocritical and unfair in situations that don't have nothing to do with you, imagine what you're gonna be in this relationship. You're gonna be the same thing.
Smart, man.
That's a good way to look at it too. Yeah, because you're seeing how they treat other people. If they're gonna treat somebody else this way, they'll treat you the same way.
Yep.
Yeah, another thing that just be frustrating about the conversation, though, it seems like most people, the people that are not giving genuine advice, all the pandering, all their suggestions on ways to improve dating experiences and for women to be happy is for men to do more. He needs to pay more. He needs to do more. He needs to make your life easier. And it's like, man, how is that the messaging that is the mainstream when none of those things lead to healthy relationships? A man paying 100% of a woman's bills does not guarantee anything as far as the quality of a relationship. It does not mean he's going to get his needs met. It does not mean the relationship's going to last. It does not mean he's a good dude. But you let these panderers tell it. That's the missing ingredient in relationships today.
It's horrible, man. It's really like the women, they really only notice. I don't really know any pandering pages for men that just tell men everything. Well, like, yo,
I get accused of that. I get accused of pandering to men.
Maybe red pill pages or something like that, but that most do. A lot of men ain't taking that stuff serious. But it's really a scam, man. When you really think about it, pandering to women is a scam because they know that they can say things and get women.
It's so lucrative, though.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. It's a scam. So they tell women, "Hey, don't do this for no man that ain't put no ring on your finger. Don't cut off all your options in men. Date all of them, sis. Date all these here men." What you think you gonna get when you get with a dude that's a quality guy, that's got his life in order, that's got money, that's got the looks, that's got the finances, and he find out that you talking to 3 other men? What you think he gonna do 9 times out of 10? You think he gonna hop in line with Craig over here that make 50,000? That with this here guy that make 45,000 or these here other men? No, he's not. He gonna be like, oh, all right, well, go ahead, you can do that because I ain't finna be bothered with you, because more times than not, a woman is having sex with somebody, and if it ain't him, he gonna be like, oh, she smashing one of them, I'm out, and now she loses again because she lost a quality man. Because ain't no way you dating 3 or 4 quality husband material men, no way. So
yeah, that the odds ain't in your favor for that.
No, a lot of these things hurt them, man, more than anything that these here panderers tell them, but they can't see it because they so emotional and they grow up believing that everything is a man's fault. So when a panderer comes on and reiterates that to them, oh man, they praise it all day long. Oh, you preaching, you talking directly to me.
Being a man is penalized, like our natural desires. Like I can put up a post explaining how even though men naturally want to sleep with a lot of women, I can post about what a man thinks about or deals with when he's faced with temptation and the things that'll lead a man towards staying faithful or make him willing to take the risk. They'll ignore everything that I say about what makes a man choose to stay faithful and act like a man simply being tempted or dealing with temptation is a problem within itself. So the things that they pay attention to or that they criticize or judge men for are often unfair and hypocritical. And so when we see what all these women are the ones filing for divorce, a lot of times they make themselves upset or unhappy comparing their real life to their fantasy world or to their unrealistic expectations of a man.
Yeah, man. A lot of women do that, man. Go ahead, Jay.
Go ahead, Jay.
Yeah, I was just saying, like on your page, you provide context and you provide actionable, tangible information. Whereas with these panders, they actual tangible results. I don't think any of them have any testimonies where these women said, "Hey, I listened to such and such. I listened to Derek Jackson, for example, and my dating life was exponentially better because of listening to him." Yeah, it's like going to church. You listen to the pastor, you get the good word, but yet you're still going back to the same problems here, right? With them, they know saying this stuff is going to sell cards, books, T-shirts, master classes, or whatever it is they're selling. People are going to clearly buy this stuff because it's telling these women what they want to hear.
Yeah, I mean,
they don't. You do a good job on your page for it.
Appreciate it.
Think about it like this: if all these here panderers got all these women in relationships, they wouldn't need them no more, right? They wouldn't need them no more. They wouldn't get paid off of them no more. So they feed them a bunch of nonsense to keep them single. I'm convinced that that's what they do. When I hear some of the things that they be saying, if a man don't pay 100% of the bills, he shouldn't be submitted to and stuff like that. And I'm thinking, my goodness, So half the people out here don't make enough money to be paying 100% of the bills with somebody in the household. But this is the message that these here men and some of these women too put out to millions and millions and millions of women. So then they jump out here in the dating world thinking, hey, somebody got to pay all my bills. Sweetheart, you a 2. I wish I would pay all the bills for a 2. If I could pay all the bills for a chick, it ain't gonna be a 2. You got these,
and I mean, but even then, a lot of women think if they're attractive, they go get a BBL. Now they look bad. Now they feel like they're entitled to those things because of that mentality. You're right. A woman's level of physical attraction does drastically influence the level of man she's going to attract, right?
Absolutely.
But that's not the only factor. You know what I mean? Like, even if a guy is making the type of money where he can pay your bills, he's going to want something in return besides just sex and having sex with an attractive woman, because that's something that most guys in that category have been doing since they was teenagers.
And women hate that though. When you start talking about their looks affecting the type of man they can get, especially financially, oh man, you know what, man?
Yeah.
That's another one of women's problems, man. They have an issue hearing how men actually date. They have a real problem with that, man, and how men think and how men actually date, to where a lot of them just dismiss it as nonsense and keep doing what they're doing, and it really only hurts them, even though reality shows them. And I think that a lot of the issue is that these men that they desire, that make really nice money, that are nice looking, they have all been smashed by them at some point. Some guy like that done had sex with them. I know, you know what I'm saying? I've smashed, a few of them back in my day. You know what I'm saying? But
that speaks to how the standards, like we said earlier, though. A dude up here ain't exempt to smashing a big booty chick that he would never be in a relationship
with. Yeah, absolutely not. That's just how men are. But see, most women wouldn't smash a dude that's under. Most of them want a guy that's either, you know what I'm saying, especially on their level. Like a guy that's making $150,000, he'll smash a chick that's making 40. If she fine, he'll smash her. 9 times out of 10,
waitress, you know what I'm saying, like
$40,000. And he a bus boy at TGI Fridays. She ain't gonna do it. Men just, you know what I'm saying, are different when it comes to that type of thing. So, but it makes them money, man. So the women listen to them.
You know what? I think I'm going to touch on your earlier point. Every woman thinks she's a dime. Everyone, look at these women on Kendra G's show, for example. They could be 45, 300 pounds, and they say, well, I want a guy making $500,000.
Yeah. I mean,
delusional women out here, man. I think that's one of the things that allows the fuck boys and the guys that may not be on the level that women want to to have success is they real with themselves, so they know what they need to lie about. There are certain things that they can be honest with you about and draw you in and actually build a connection, but they also know what to tell, what you want to hear and what to tell you to get the results that they want, at least temporarily. As long as they hit, man, they it's a mission accomplished.
Yeah, you know who hurts women more than the panderers? Their friends. They friends hurt them more than the panderers, because the friends will tell them. The friends will co-sign their toxic traits and the nonsense that they do. The friends will co-sign it, man. They won't tell her, hey girl, you don't need no double cheeseburger, you 350 pounds. They ain't gonna tell her that. They'll tell her, yeah, you look good, girl, put that on. You look good. And she out there, man, with a shirt on that don't cover up nothing. But the women also help women stay single. And I think women actually do it on purpose, because they don't want their girls to have something
misery loves company, man,
better than what they got. So they do these things on purpose and send them outside any type of way and encourage them to continue their toxic behavior.
Well, I don't know if this could you could do a study on it, but I know the phenomenon where there are some women that don't really want to befriend other attractive women. They'd rather be
Yeah.
cool with some fat or ugly chicks. So every time they go out, they the ones
They
that
the
get
baddest
hit
one.
it on. Yeah, like that kind
Ain't
of
that crazy?
gas yourself up type of with your crew type of situation.
That's just,
Man, I've seen it a lot though. You know what I mean? Like I've seen women that get upset or lose friends because such and such is more attractive, or more guys buy her drinks and stuff like that. So
Crazy.
there's a lot of jealousy and cattiness that goes on in the dating pool, especially like you said, especially when one of the women is dating a quality guy. Her friends will usually find something wrong with him.
Mm-hmm. That's because they all want the same guys.
trying to
They all
sabotage
want the same
shit.
type of men. Yeah, so they want to sabotage it. Oh, girl, don't do this, don't do that. And the men be like, man, what's going on with Shorty? And she completely ruins it with a man that's actually, you know, a pretty good guy. Say that again?
Yeah.
No, I said you need to leave him alone and be single. That's stuff they'll start putting into some of those women's heads. They got a healthy relationship, good guy, and find something wrong with him. Hey, you need to leave him alone. Oh, he did this. Oh, he looked at you the wrong. Leave him alone, girl.
Yeah, they make it seem. Yeah, they make it seem like being single is such a better option than actually building with somebody. And it's like, nah, you got a solid man in the house that got a decent job, that treats you with respect, that's building your future with you. Your life is going to be exponentially easier than an independent woman out here paying everything herself.
Yeah, that's why a lot of men don't want their girls having single girlfriends, because they know that them girlfriends gonna ruin her, man. At some point, they are gonna ruin her 9 times out of 10 with the stuff that they gonna feed in their head, with the things that they gonna want to do, that they gonna encourage her to do. Oh, girl, go ahead. You know, come on, let's go out to Jamaica, man. You can have that dude rubbing all on your booty. Your man ain't gonna mind. Like, you know what I'm saying? They encourage them to do things like that, man. So, you know,
bad influence.
Yep. That's what it is.
Yeah, look like we up against the clock, fellas. We about to get up out of here. Before we go, I want to give another shout out to Brother Soul Productions for keeping us laced with our background audio. I want to remind y'all to continue donating to the podcast through our Cash App and our PayPal. JSD, man, appreciate y'all linking up with me so we can get another episode on the books. This has been another episode of the Ho the Husband Podcast, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.